we will improve on the data entry in terms of duplicate records. So let's look at, again, the issue. So let me run this again. So let me just go ahead and enter Gizmo 1. And that would be Gizmo. And let's say a price of 12.34 and 100 of them. Then I go ahead and do this again, and I enter another gizmo. Yet they shouldn't be. I should have a unique gizmo, but now it's confusing. Which gizmo are we talking about? And this one happens to be 34, right? So if I view here, I have two items called gizmo. I would like to ensure that at any time I enter gizmo again, I'll get an error message that says such record exists. Pick another product or something of that nature. Okay, so we want to make sure that the product name is unique. As it stands, this algorithm works in terms of updating everything you need to update, but now it's very confusing. If you were to do a purchase, which of these two are you buying? Okay, so this could be, it will pick on the first one and not the second one. So it could be really, 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 really confusing. So let's go ahead and exit this and fix this. So let's look at what we can do here. We know we need to move the pointer in the add product because you don't know exactly where you need to concatenate into the array at any given time. We still have to do that, except we're going to do it differently. First, we're going to ask the user to enter a string before it's entered into the array. We're going to compare that one to whatever is in the array first. If it finds it, then we're going to flip a flag on and say, then you can't update anything. If the flag remains off, then we can go ahead and update. That is the main strategy. So I'm going to need a couple things. I'm going to need char prod name, make it equal to, in terms of number of characters, to what I started with. I'm going to need an int found as my flag and make it equal to false or 0. Notice I'm not using Boolean. I'll leave that alone right now. I can just work with this. Okay. So my for loop, before I enter the for loop, I'm going to ask the user this time. So something like this, printf. Actually, I can copy these two statements here, right here. And let me cut that and just put it right here. Okay, so it's going to ask, enter the following information, product name, and I'm going to do scanf, this time to my temporary variable. That would be a %s, and that would be prod name. Okay. Now we're going to use this for loop to look if we did find it or not. Okay, so I'm going to put a curly brace here, put another curly brace here. Okay, and let's think about how this is going to work. So what I'm going to do is probably write an if statement. Let's leave this alone here for a second. If, and if you did find it the first time, that's great. If not, else. What you're going to do is, if you find it else, go ahead and do what? Increment again. So we're going to let this be our incrementation loop if we don't find anything within the loop. So here you're going to compare prod name to whatever is in the array. So str cmp, same function we used before, right here. strcmp. Okay, it takes two arguments. Okay, one is the actual variable that I have, prod name, and the other one will be whatever is the pointer is pointing at, ptr, so dereference name. I think my name was lowercase. Okay, remember that's a component or an attribute of the data structure, equals 0. That means you did find it. So we're going to do a couple things here. So let me open curly brace, close curly brace. One is I'm going to print that we found the records. No need to. So printf. We're going to say something like this. Product already exists. Okay? No need to update. We could do something like this, /n. And then make sure that you set found to 1. Now you will see why I'm doing this. Okay? So this is going to allow me to step through the whole array as far as, because when you called it here in main, you supplied it with its length anyway. Okay? All right? So when you did add product, let's say there were 5 products in the array. You've updated the prod count already for that purpose, right? Now you're sending it over and you're expecting at the end to have 6. Now, in our case, okay, so we did get 5 here, and we are going to step, we don't know if we're going to step all the way to the end. If you do, and you don't find anything, this if statement will never execute. At any given time while you're in the loop, you're incrementing the pointer anyway, so you're good, and you can tack in at the end your product. If not, somewhere down the line, you found yourself here. And we're going to use that found equal 1 for our advantage. So we started with 0. So this is good if it's 0. So we can do an if statement here. If. So this whole block of code of updating the actual product will happen here. So if found equals 0, then let me open the curly brace. I'm going to put all of this stuff right here within that flag remaining at 0. And notice that even the count gets incremented there. Except, here's the problem. How do you update the product name? Well, we're going to do a copy. We're going to copy prod name to pre-PTR name. So the way to do it is to do an strc, I think it's a string copy. strcp, I'm not sure if it's a string copy or a string CMP copy. No, it's a string CP. And we're going to do PTR, the destination, name, and then comma, prod name. Then we can copy, which means we've assigned it to it. So let me just compile here to make sure that syntax is correct. String copy. I think I have a problem with the string copy here. So let me hang on a second here. strcmp. CP, just give me a second. So let me pause here for a second. Okay, found the solution. So if we go to here, strcpy is the name of it. So I'm missing the y right there. All right, well, let's see what happens here. So compile. Good. Excellent. All right, so do I have it in the right order? We're going to find out. So let's go ahead and run it. Let's go compile and run. Let's see how it works. And let's go ahead and add Gizmo again. And let's put a price of $100. Let me just move this to the center so you can see. Let's put 50 of them as product in our inventory. Now I'm going to go ahead and add again. Put Gizmo. Oh, wow, too late. Let's see what happens. Product already exists. No need to update. Perfect. So if I do a view, it should be in there. Perfect. So it copied it. Excellent. So it's working. Good. So we can add another product. And this time, toy. $12. And I'm have 100 of those. And again, to view all of them. Perfect. Let's try to duplicate toy again, even though it's in the second place. Let's see if that will happen. I'm going to enter toy. The other one was lowercase toy. The other one, so it's case sensitive. So maybe a good idea is to also bring them back down to lowercase to compare. So as you can see, it is really sensitive. So 100 and 100. Let me just do a to view, and I bet you that's what's going on. Yes, I have a toy lowercase and a toy uppercase. So maybe as you're comparing, first temporarily reduce everything to lowercase, all the characters. And I believe to lower and to upper are functions that exist within the standard library. And then work it out that way. Okay? So that is going to be our exercise for the next part, is to use to upper and to lower to make sure no matter how you type it, it will detect if you had a duplicate. Right now it does, as long as you spell it out letter by letter the same way, uppercase and lowercase. So it's very case sensitive as it stands. But we saw by putting toy lowercase and toy uppercase, it accepted them as two separate records, which will defeat the logic. So we would like to compare to lowercase internally in the code, and that's what we'll do next time. So let me just go ahead and do for exit. Okay, so that will be a good review for, again, string functions from the string library, string.h, right here. So we're going to do a to upper and to lower, and when we're doing a comparison.